Hi there! I have returned in a brand new setting. Where the heck am I? Well, that's the first bit of plot for this video. You see, I am no longer in my normal bedroom. I am no longer in my parents' house. This is my apartment. Yeah, that's right. I've moved out of that place, got a job, and now I have this lovely apartment. This is just my bedroom. I don't know why I'm making it out to be like this is my entire apartment. If my entire apartment was this friggin' small, we'd have a problem. But we don't. It's just my bedroom. That's why the setting looks all different. Don't mind the clutter in the background there. It's just failure to failure to be a actual good person. So yeah, that's why scenery is different. All right, so that's part one of this plot. Part two is where in the heck has yours truly been? Well, I got a job. Not really much I can say else. I got a job. No, it's more than that. It's a whole bunch of life stuff and getting all this ready and the fact that my computer is not the fastest in the world, I will admit that, but it gets the job done. So I had to really will myself to make these videos, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's just been a whole lot of stuff compiling on one another, and I just haven't had time to do this, even though I'm just sitting in front of a camera talking to people who probably don't watch these videos as much as they should. You really should watch more of these videos. Although I don't really talk about much or provide good content, I am a good voice to listen to. Not that I have any credible sources, but who knows? Somebody out there could probably use this as a ASMR. I don't know. All right, let me stop being dumb. So, what is the subject of this video? Well, aside from explaining where in the heck I have been, I'm going to talk about something. That's right, it's another rant video. You thought you were getting away from that. No, you were not. This one is going to be more on the gaming side, because that's all I ever seem to talk about is games and or movies. Why can't I just do a normal rant? I almost said rant stream. Rant video. I am not doing a stream. Lord have mercy if I ever do a stream, but no. This is going to be a more gaming video, more personal gaming for me. I am going to talk about every Gran Turismo game I own. Not every, but a good chunk. If you don't know what Gran Turismo is, it's a racing game. A racing game developed by Sony on the PlayStation. Well, not Sony, more so Polyphony Digital developed the game, brought it to Sony, PlayStation, blah blah blah. Point is a PlayStation exclusive racing series and one of the finest I've ever played. So, if you haven't played any good racing simulators or want to get into the genre, Gran Turismo is kind of the way you want to go. Just saying. Just saying. Hashtag non-shameless plug. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, enough of that. I'm going to talk about some games. I have with me right now, to my left, that I'm touching. You can't see it, but I'm touching it. Every Gran Turismo game I own. Now, I will make a point of clarification for those who do know the series a bit. I'm going to omit a couple of entries. I do own Gran Turismo for the PSP and Tourist Trophy. Tourist Trophy is a little bit more complex to explain. It's basic. Well, I can't really get into it without spoiling a certain game, so I'll get to it when I get to that game. Gran Turismo for the PSP, on the other hand, is just a Gran Turismo game on the PSP. There's no real meat to the game. It's just an arcade racer for the most part. So I don't really include it in official Gran Turismo games. It's not numbered, essentially. And also, if you're curious, no, I don't own Gran Turismo 7, although it has been out for quite some time as well as the PS5. I just don't have the space or money to have one yet. When I do get it, I will get Gran Turismo 7, I will play it, and then I will talk about it, because I like the series. And if Gran Turismo 7 sucks, we gonna have problems. But that's for the future. This is now. So, with 5 minutes gone from this video, let me get into the first game. Gran Turismo. Yes, the original Gran Turismo for the PlayStation Uno. No silly, damn it, can't see. No silly numbers, no nothing. Ignore the obvious used game sticker there. This is the original game in its boxy glory. This is a thick brick. All this to house one disc, by the way. I think the other half is the manual, but yeah, I figured I'd talk about these games, give my sort of opinions on how difficult it can be, or if it's my favorite or if it's my least favorite. And this game, it's kind of middle of the road. I mean, it's definitely the first game in the series. Not a lot of content, but it's a good time to play. And I definitely revisit this every now and then. I mainly do it for the just for again, just like if I'm bored, or just feel like replaying it. It's definitely not the longest game in the world. I definitely say this is probably the shortest Gran Turismo game to complete. Now, when I say complete, I don't mean 100%. I just mean play through the game once, enjoy it, and then move on. This is definitely the shortest, but I will also say this is probably one of the hardest because this game loves drifting. Your cars will slide around a lot in this one, and if you are not ready for that, you will go. That's my horrible impression of a car screeching. Ignore that. You ignore it. Don't talk about it. If you're talking about it, I will find you, and then I will make you play some horrible game. I don't know, but your cars slide around a lot in this game. You have to be adjusted to that. Another thing that makes this quite difficult is the classic racing game trope to make all racing games harder than they need to be. Rubber banding AI. Yep, rubber banding AI exists in this game and is oh so prevalent, and they will also catch you off guard. I have lost many races in this game thanks to rubber banding AI. Thanks, you really make this game really hard to play when it shouldn't be. If I'm good, I should be good. Okay? Okay. But overall, I can't say this is a terrible game. I mean, the car selection is nice, got good dealers, got good music, I guess. But yeah, the intro to the game is actually pretty awesome. It's probably one of my favorite intros to a Gran Turismo game. You got this whole setup with this racetrack at like sunrise, and you got all these cars lining up and then all that stuff, and it just all culminates with the Gran Turismo logo just all up on the screen, just forms, and it's just like, bam, racing game. It's Gran Turismo. This is a man's game about racing cars in a fictional world, going and all that stuff. But yeah, Gran Turismo. I like this. I like this cover art too. I don't know. I just a blanketed car, just like, ooh, what is it? And then you play it. It's like, oh, but I don't know. Well, yeah, but I would say this is probably not my favorite, but I would say this is probably my fourth favorite. Again, not too difficult, but there are some elements about it that admittedly could be better. Like I said, the rubber banding AI makes this game a lot harder than it needs to be. The fact your cars slide around a lot makes it harder than it needs to be too. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna catch you off guard. You're not gonna be ready for that. I certainly wasn't ready for that. I was like, whoa, I thought I was playing a road racing game, not ice simulator. Like, goodness me. But it doesn't detract from the fun I had. I think it's a very good length for what it is, and this is definitely the go-to game I would recommend for your first time playing Gran Turismo. So, if you want to get into the series, start with the original. It sounds cliche, but it makes the most sense. So this one's out of the way. I'll just put that right there. So, in 1999, Polyphony Digital said, hey, we got some pretty good success with Gran Turismo on the PS1. Why not make a sequel? And sequel they made. This is Gran Turismo 2. Ignore the fact this case is obviously cracked. I got this from a used game store. A lot of these I got from a used game store. So, yay. But yeah, this is Gran Turismo 2. This is what many people consider to be their favorite in the series by far. People love this game. People love the original, don't get me wrong, but people love the Gran Turismo 2. A lot of people saying it's the best in the series, it's this and that, and that's hard to argue against it. I will definitely say this is probably my second favorite Gran Turismo game. Second. We'll get to the favorite, but second. And it's easy to see why. Way more content than the first one. Way more. So many more cars, so many more tracks, just so much more to do in this game. And the replayability of Gran Turismo 2. There's one thing I didn't mention. This is a very replayable game too, but this one in particular, phenomenal. There's one gimmick that's in this game that is so awesome and is what makes this so replayable. It's that this game introduces the concept of doing individual racing. By that I mean, in this one, a lot of your events were categorized in the championships, as in you had to do each race in a consecutive fashion. You had no breaks. You had to go from point A to point B. If you forfeited anywhere in the middle, you forfeit the whole challenge. In this game, that doesn't happen a lot. There are still championships, but it's only like three. I'm thinking, yeah, three. But the rest are categorized as single races in the sense that you do each race at your own leisure. If you want to say an event has three races in it. I could do race 1 if I want to. If I'm having trouble in race 2, no problem. I go to race 3. Once I get a better setup for my car, I go back to race 2, beat that, and I win. With Gran Turismo 2, however, how they handle that to make it replayable is that I win race 1, let's say. I win race 1 of 3. I get a prize car. That's a special car in the game that I can use anywhere else, or the event in particular. Okay, that's cool. Race 2. I win that. I also get a prize car. In race 3, you know the drill. You win it, you get a prize car. They give you a prize car for every freaking race you win. And each prize car is different for the event. Some events can award you with the possibility of winning one of like 4 cars. It's awesome. And one thing I didn't mention about this one is there's a special feature for tuning cars called racing modifications. In that, essentially, you basically convert any normal going road car, say Mazda RX-7. You can basically turn it into a race car. Let that sink in for a second. A race car. You put racing liveries on it, you have reduced weight, increased power, increased handling, increased acceleration. You make your own race car from a normal car. How cool is that? Like, that's awesome. Now Gran Turismo 2 has that, but they kinda messed it up in a very minuscule way. You have to reduce the weight first before you can do the racing mod. So it's a little hiccup and it's a little bit of a I gotta do this first, but it doesn't detract my whole experience because you're making your own race car. How cool is that? I mean, what kid wouldn't want a racing version of a Ford Mustang, a Toyota Celica, a Aston Martin DB7? I had a mini stroke there. Ignore me. Like, what kid wouldn't want that? That's awesome. And again, it adds to the replayability because now you're like, man, I wonder if I can racing mod this car. I can. Let's see how that performs on track. Whoa, this is awesome. Oh, I want to try this with more cars, win more races. It's awesome, man. Like, Gran Turismo 2, it's very easy to see why people love and revere this game so much. The only issue I have with it, and why it's my second favorite, it's a little bit too easy. It's probably the easiest game in the series in my opinion. Like I said, the account of replayability, you winning cars for every little race you do means you can win a lot of in-game money. That's one thing I didn't really mention. This game operates off of an in-game currency called credits, and you need those to purchase cars and upgrades. And Gran Turismo 2, with the added addition of winning cars from like every little race you do, means you can rack up a lot of money. There's a special grind spot everybody that plays the game uses. If you're curious, it's an event called the Gran Turismo All Stars. It's a 5 race event, single races, uh, and they use race number 3 in particular, which is held at a track called Red Rock Valley. Um, in that event, getting first awards you 50,000 credits. 50,000 for getting first. And keep in mind, all the races are 5 laps long. 5 laps. 50,000 credits. Okay, so that's that. The prize car, however, is why people use that race to get money. For winning that race, you are awarded a TVR Speed 12. Now, that car already is just crazy. It has 807 horsepower. Effortlessly goes to 200 plus miles per hour. But the main reason people want it is when you sell it, you get 500,000 credits. 500,000. Meaning, by doing that race one time, you get an automatic 550,000 credits by just winning it once. Win it twice, you get 1.1 million. Do it again, you get another million. Like, it's just crazy how much money you get from that one race alone, and people use it to grind money effortlessly. And it's one of the reasons why this is the easiest game in the series, you know? I mean, a great method to like um just make the game ridiculously easy is to go with your S license because you're awarded a Toyota GT1 race car, which is like one of the best cars in the entire game, if not the best. And you can use that to enter the Gran Turismo All Stars, and you just breeze through it. You get to race, you just do race 3 and just get so many credits, and you're set for the rest of the game. You can't run out of credits. You're just set. Any race you do or any event you have to do is covered. So it's crazy. Another gripe with Gran Turismo 2 I have that also makes it my second favorite. See, it can be your favorite, but have some flaws. Another gripe with this is that they have what's called game filler. What's game filler? Is basically any point in the game where they have you do menial task for seemingly no reason and no benefit whatsoever. In Gran Turismo 2's case, it does have a meaning. You get percentage completion. How they do it is, there's not that many events in the game, and well, yeah, so it's not a lot to be covered. How do they cover this? One, make races. By that, I mean that in certain dealerships, they have their own special events, meaning you have to buy cars from those dealers. Some may say, oh, you can only use R34 Skylines, or you can use only Corvettes, or use a 3 Series BMW, or something like that, you know? And you have to buy, and buy, and buy, and buy, and it's just a tedious point in the game. I don't really understand why they put it in there, but on one hand, I can see that how it could be cool. You know, it kind of makes you drive cars you would normally never use in the game. There's a whole event dedicated to a car called the Daihatsu Midget, and it's awesome. It's literally this little farmer's pickup truck. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. That's sarcastic. I don't really care for the car, but it's awesome because it's just the craziest thing ever. You have to see it to believe it, but yeah. But again, it's like, but the problem is the midget is so slow, so slow. And like you have to just spend a crap ton of money on some of these because some of these actually have two variants. You have the normal, the normal mode, which is just buy the car out the dealership, and you have the racing style, where you have to racing mod. Keep in mind, you have to do lightweight reduction first before getting racing modifications added. And to kick it all off, racing modifications cost 85,000 credits to apply. In addition to all the money you have to spend to do lightweight reduction. So you're easily going to spend at least 100 grand on the racing style alone. And the game is chock full of want to make races, and it's just money on money on money, and it's just boring. And I just do not look forward to doing that part of the game. I just don't. It's too much. Some dealerships have one event, some have five, some have two. It's random. Well, not really random. It's preset, but still, it's like it's just bleh. I don't enjoy doing that. But other than that, excuse me. Other than that, this Gran Turismo 2 is a really good game. I highly recommend it. Would I recommend it as the first game? Kinda not. It depends. I still say Gran Turismo 1 is the better first choice because it's not as long. It can be a little bit difficult, but I don't think it's too difficult to the point where it's gonna turn someone off and like I don't want to play this game. It sucks. But yeah, that's Gran Turismo 2. Very good game. Very good. Highly recommend. One of Polyphony Digital's greatest creations. Now we move on to this game. For those who know me, we all know what's coming up next. It's this baby right here, Gran Turismo 3. The first Gran Turismo game on the PlayStation 2. And well, what can I say about this that I haven't already said? This is my all-time favorite Gran Turismo game and my all-time favorite game ever made. I love Gran Turismo 3. The music is absolutely perfect. The graphic style, even in 2023, looks amazing. It's just a good game. I just can't emphasize it enough. I find myself going back to this the most. I just can't put it down. Literally, I can't put it down. And well, there's really not much else I can say about it. I've ranted about this for so long on this channel. Like I've done like a whole video talking about childhood memories over it. It just I love it. You can ask me about it and I love it, you know. It's just that game that really just puts me in this zone of good vibes, you know? And yeah, this is a big part of my childhood, and I love this to death. Now, with that being said, there are some things in this game that I hate. I don't. It's like I said, a game can be your favorite, but it can still be flawed, and this game ain't no exception. You see, for all the praises and the worships and all that I sing about this game, there are some things in this game that I don't look forward to. One being a certain thing called Professional League. You see, people, I said in Gran Turismo 2 that you'd be doing 5 laps. Now, 5 laps was the max you do for any normal event, minus endurance events, which are obviously much longer. But 5 laps was the maximum. That's it. In Gran Turismo 3, they believed that, 5 laps wasn't nearly enough. Let's give them more. And we have races now with 5 laps, 7 laps, 10 laps, 15 laps, 20 laps. And it just goes on and on and on and on. Professional League, I'm looking at you. You long piece of crap. I hate Professional League. Even if it gives you the best prize cars in the games, I hate Professional League because it is full of 10 lap races, 15 lap races, 20 lap races. Easily the longest part in the entire game, and I do not look forward to doing it at all. I don't look forward to it. The license test. You know, the license tests are cool. I like the license center music, by the way. It's one of my favorite tracks in all of Gran Turismo. It's very, very nice and very relaxing to listen to. But the license tests are some of the hardest in the entire series, I will say. Like each Gran Turismo game has their fair share of difficult license tests. Yes, that is true, but Gran Turismo 3 across the board, man, the only real break you catch is like the early parts of B license, and even then those are kind of difficult. But my god, S license? Good grief! And then we talk about trying to get gold, which is the best possible rank for a license test, and you're just asking for a lot of trouble. And golding the license test in Gran Turismo 3 is one of the hardest challenges I've ever done in a Gran Turismo game. Let me tell you. Also, in order to get 100% completion in this game, you have to also complete arcade mode. Yes, arcade mode. You know, shouldn't really be part of the main completion, but it is. And it's just slog after slog. You got time trials to do in arcade mode. You have to beat every single track in arcade mode. And keep in mind, they put every track in the game in arcade mode. Minus one, but it doesn't really count. But they put every track in the game. And you have to not only beat them, but you have to beat them on three. I said three separate difficulties: easy, normal, and hard. There's also a secret fourth professional difficulty, but that one doesn't count, so three. And you have to do that for every single track in arcade mode. Did I mention it can be quite tedious? Gran Turismo 3, I love the game to death and I will always defend it as a good game, but my god, there are some things in that game that did not need to exist, and boy, do they make it apparent. Oh my god, do they make it apparent. Anywho, so, we've had a long string of success with Gran Turismo, starting with the very first, getting such a good public reception, being one of the best-selling PS1 games out there. Then you get Gran Turismo 2 that just improves on it phenomenally, tremendously, I should say. And then we get Gran Turismo 3, according to this disc, a greatest hits. People loved Gran Turismo 3. They love it a lot. So, like any natural game company, they make another one. Hence, Gran Turismo 4. This one's quite special. This is probably the first Gran Turismo game to have HD. Yes, that's right, HD. And I have to say this right off the bat, this is one of the best looking Gran Turismo games right off the bat. I love the game. This game looks absolutely beautiful, and it's a PlayStation 2 title. I'm dead serious. Look up gameplay of Gran Turismo 4 on the PlayStation 2. It is crazy what they managed to accomplish with this thing. Coming off of this, we go from this to this. It's crazy the graphical improvement they put in this game. It's absolutely gorgeous. It blows me away every time I play it. I played this game a lot. This is probably my third favorite Gran Turismo. This is my third favorite Gran Turismo game. And it's epic. Gran Turismo 4 is basically, oh goodness. It's basically if this game and this game got together, just sorry. Oh, you like that, don't you? And out came this baby. This is their love child. This is Gran Turismo 4. This is also one of the biggest games in the series. Not big as in hype, big as in content. You thought Gran Turismo 2 had content? You've not played Gran Turismo at all, have you? Gran Turismo 4 is basically double the size of Gran Turismo 2. It's huge. Sorry. I felt like there was some in my mouth. I don't know. Ugh. But it is double the size of Gran Turismo 2. Easily. And it's one of the longest games in the series. And it's also probably the hardest to 100%. Well, second hardest. The hardest is yet to come. But second hardest because there's a lot to do in this game. There's a lot to do in this game. Thankfully, this is the first game in the series, I think. I don't know if the original had this or not, but this is the first game in the series to omit arcade mode from basic completion entirely. You don't have to complete arcade mode to get 100% in this game. So to compensate for this, they put everything they possibly could into Gran Turismo mode. I'm talking lots of racing events, lots of license tests, lots of one-make races, because those have to reappear. And it is... You thought Gran Turismo 3 had long races? Oh, no, 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 good sir, or ma'am, or whatever. Gran Turismo 4. Oh, boy. These races go on forever. Forever! They're long. They're like... how long it's been? 12 minutes. I'm still doing this stupid track. But yeah, but there is a silver lining. For every darkness there is, there's a giant light hanging right there. And the light of Gran Turismo 4 is B-Spec mode. This little thing they call B-Spec mode. What's B-Spec mode, you may be asking? Because that's a new term. Basically, it's the best thing ever in Gran Turismo. Hands down, this is the best thing ever. And what B-Spec mode does is that you relinquish control of your car to the AI. The AI will now drive your car around the track for the allotted amount of laps. And all you, the player, have to do is simply give your car a series of commands. You can tell it to slow down its pace, pick up the pace. You can tell it to overtake opponents or go to the pits. Although the pit option is quite unnecessary, I find, because once your tires get worn to a certain point or your fuel level gets too low, yeah, that's another thing they introduced: fuel levels. Now your car can run out of gas. Realism. But if your fuel level gets to a certain point, the car will just automatically go to the pits. Like, you don't have to even tell it to. It just automatically goes. But B-Spec mode is great. Why? Because, like I said, the AI controls your car. You don't have to worry about constantly saying, I play again, play. Oh God, I can't do it. No, you don't have to do that. The AI does that for you. And the best part is, the game doesn't penalize you for doing it. Why? Because you still get your prize money, and you still get your prize car. Endurance races become a lot more bearable. And good, because, they introduced a lot more this time. I mean, we got the classic, we got the Grand Valley 300-kilometer endurance, we got the Laguna Seca 200-mile endurance, but new to the mix, the Nürburgring 24 hours, Le Mans 24 hours, Tsukuba 9 hours. It's crazy. They're long, but B-Spec mode saves this game. There's also one other feature of Gran Turismo 4. This one's a bit secretive. If you input a very specific code at the title screen of Gran Turismo 4, you will, or no wait, not the title screen. You have to go to options. If you input a very specific code in the options menu for Gran Turismo 4, you can unlock some secret menus. And one of these menus affects arcade mode. In the sense, now stay with me on this, you can basically manufacture your own races. Meaning you can select which type of cars the AI will use. Because there's an option that says the AI will only pick from cars in your favorites list. So whatever cars you have in your favorites list, the AI will choose from that pool only. And you can have any type of combination you want, essentially. And it is the greatest. And for that reason, I say, without a shadow of the doubt, that Gran Turismo 4 has the best the best arcade mode in any Gran Turismo game. I don't care. Gran Turismo 3, no. Gran Turismo 2, never heard of her. Gran Turismo 1, pff, please. No, Gran Turismo 4 is the best there is when it comes to arcade mode. And it's really only the real thing I play on Gran Turismo 4 is arcade mode because I can just do so much with that. You got all the tracks, you got all these cars. The possibilities are endless, people. If I want to race against a Toyota GT1 race car on a dirt track, I can do it. You know, it's wild. It's wild, man. It is wild. Again, all good games come with their flaws, and Gran Turismo 4, above everything else, is way too big. There are a lot of things to do in this game. A lot. I said you got a lot of single race events, championships. The final championship of the game, the Formula GT World Championship, is the longest championship in any Gran Turismo game. Any. Not one, not two, not three, not five, not six, not seven, not whatever. Gran Turismo 4's Formula GT World Championship is the longest. Because not only are the races done for more than 20 laps, but it's also a 15 race championship. 15. 15. My first time playing this championship took me, I'm not kidding you, probably at least 3 whole days to complete because I needed breaks. I could not do them all in one run. 3 whole days. This thing was freaking massive. And that's just one championship in Gran Turismo mode. Like I said, you got those, you got your endurance races, you got your freaking rally races, you got your one makes. You even have this little thing called mission mode, which is a whole other bag of worms. You got license tests. You got it all, man. All that for 100% completion is just too much in my opinion. It's just too much. It's a good game. I'm not going to call it bad, but man, it's way too big. Way too big. So, that's Gran Turismo 4. And now we come to what I call the crossroads of eras. 1 through 4 is the good era. And it's the era where Gran Turismo was at its peak levels of fun. This is when I had fun with these games. But, you know, PlayStation 2 was fizzling out. Not many games coming out for it now. But that's fine because during this time period, a new wave of consoles was coming out. The next generation. That's right, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And with a new PlayStation coming along, there had to be a new Gran Turismo. And did we get one in the form of Gran Turismo 5? Yep, Gran Turismo 5, the first PlayStation 3 Gran Turismo title. And like Gran Turismo 4, this game looks good, which is natural. More powerful hardware, so obviously they can do a lot more with this game than they ever could with Gran Turismo 4. For starters, we now have 2 new racing styles, karting and NASCAR. NASCAR and Gran Turismo, who would have thought we'd see today? And this one, it's good and bad. Like I said, it's the crossroads. It's got the elements of the old ones that made it fun, but it's also starting to delve into. This is when they start taking a more approach, more towards the simulator side rather than the fun side. Don't get me wrong, it was still a simulator-esque environment in 1 through 4, but it was fun. You had fun doing it. Then 5 comes along and it's like, we want to have fun, but we also want to be simulator with fun, but sim with fun. And it just couldn't decide, so we get 5. 5. Where to begin with this one? Well, it's not really much of an improvement from Gran Turismo 4 as far as I can tell. One make races are no longer a thing, thank God. They're no longer a thing. In terms of completion, again, arcade mode is not required at all. However, it's done in a way that I can't really fathom. I can't understand it, let's say. And I'm gonna be frankly honest with you here. This is when I stopped 100% in Gran Turismo games. I have completed 1 through 4 in their entirety, but 5, I have yet to even tackle the final championship of the game. Like, and the reason for it is the myriad of things that caused this game to just crash and burn for me. Like, it's good, but there are some things that just drag it down, and I just can't elevate it to my top list of Gran Turismo games. The main culprit being a level up system. They introduced a level up system in Gran Turismo. Because that's what all racing games need, right? A level up system. Who cares? But yeah, they introduced a level up system. So now, when races used to be locked behind, you have to have this certain license to do. Okay, go do that license. Get it? Cool. Now you can do the race. Now they're locked behind certain levels. Like, you have to be level 10 to do this race, or level 20, or something like that. And guess what that means? When the thing is locked behind level requirements, guess what you gotta do if you're not at that point? You gotta grind, grind those levels, grind those experience. And therefore the game comes to a screeching halt. And it's for that reason that I cannot complete this game. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. I just can't. Because I have to grind and grind and grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. And it's boring. I don't want to grind for levels in a racing game. Like let's look at it this way. You got level ups. You got your car. You the player. You have your upgrades to make your car better. And you go up against opponents to match that. This is essentially Gran Turismo, the RPG. Am I stupid for saying that? Probably. I don't care. But yes, it's an RPG game, and I just don't like it. There's also one other factor about this game that will never make me want to complete it. I mentioned in Gran Turismo 4 there was a little feature called B-Spec mode. It is awesome. Well, B-Spec mode returns for Gran Turismo 5 and Polyphony Digital. What'd you do? You ruined B-Spec mode. They ruined it. Okay, they ruined it. Alright then, how'd they ruin it, huh? Well, let me tell you. You see, in Gran Turismo 4, B-Spec mode was there as a means to do the race when you felt like, you just didn't have enough time or just didn't feel like doing it yourself. It was there. It didn't affect anything. You still did the race. You still got your money. You still got your car. And you still got your completion. Okay, that's all cool. So Gran Turismo 5 comes around. It's the same concept. There's only one problem. Instead of being part of the gaming experience, it is now one half of the game. You heard me. One half of the game. Meaning, to fully complete this godforsaken game, I have to do it on A-Spec manual mode. All of those races I have to do myself. And then when I feel like I'm done, I'm not, because I have to go all the way back to the Sunday Cup, but this time do B-Spec. And the worst part of it is, say I do 5 laps for a race in A-Spec mode. Okay, cool. I get to B-Spec mode. Now it's 10 laps. They increased the amount of laps for B-Spec. Like, how do you do that? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Like, come on, people. Come on. You ruined what was a very fun and convenient and useful feature and made it something I don't want to do. I don't want to do B-Spec mode. You know what else they put in B-Spec mode in this game? They gave you your own driver. Who also operates on a level up system. So you have to grind for level points to do a race, but also experience for your driver because at start your driver is so gosh darn weak. His stamina runs out so quickly. It's crazy. So quickly. I have to grind to make sure that does not happen. Because if your driver's stamina runs out, guess what happens? They make mistakes. You lose the race. You get angry. You throw your PlayStation 3 out the window. And I can't accept that. One half of the game dedicated to all of that. And I just can't complete the game because of it. It's the sole reason I can't complete Gran Turismo 5. Yeah, it may sound like I have no skill in the game, but I've gotten far in A-Spec mode, I like to say. I'm above level 30 now, which is not easy to do, let me tell you. But I just will not replay the game twice because, oh, I have to do it now, but let the game take control. No, I'm not doing that. That's stupid. It's stupid. It's like playing Sonic Adventure and doing it once yourself, but then the game says, "Oh, if you want the supersonic story, now you have to let us play the game for you. But this time, you have to. This time, we got stipulations." Like, who wants to replay the entire game over again just for completion? That's dumb. That's dumb. Stupid. However, there are some fun aspects. There's a certain car you can unlock once you get to level 30 in Gran Turismo 5 called the Red Bull X 2010. 2010 because that's when this game came out. Um, and it is an absolute crazy monstrosity of a car. It is the craziest thing I've ever driven. It has acceleration of up to speeds of over 300 miles per hour, and that is no glitch. That is vanilla. It has a base horsepower of around 1500. It's crazy. It has grip like unlike anything you've ever seen, and it is all around just a fun time. You get it though by doing one of the hardest, if not the hardest challenge and one of the most frustrating things I've ever done in a Gran Turismo game, the Sebastian Vettel X Challenge. I could explain the process of that, but not really. I don't feel like it. Gone on for almost 50 minutes. Oh God, I need to hurry this up. But yeah, uh, almost lost my train of thought. Oh well. Gran Turismo 5. Good game, but plagued by so many flaws that just will not let me complete this. I just can't. Oh, it's too much for me. Now we move on to, unfortunately, the modern era slash bad era of Gran Turismo for me. And we start with Gran Turismo 6, the final PlayStation 3 Gran Turismo game. You ever notice we go in the pattern? We have Gran Turismo 1 and 2 for the PlayStation 1, 3 and 4 for PlayStation 2, and now we're at 5 and 6 for the PlayStation 3. And Gran Turismo 6, this is when they start embracing the racing simulator aspect, not the fun aspect. I'm going to say it right here and now, this is probably one of my least favorite games of all in the Gran Turismo sense. Not of all time, but in terms of Gran Turismo, this is one of my least favorites. It is boring, bland. A lot of people say the game's way too easy. I say nonsense. Gran Turismo 2 is far easier, but that's just me. But I haven't even gotten to like a serious race in Gran Turismo 6. I've done some like beginner level races, but that's about it. I just can't do it. It's boring to me. I just can't play it because it just lacks what Gran Turismo had that made it fun. It's like, yay races, ooh. It feels a lot more slower paced than ever. Like, oh my god. But you know, it's ooh, I get to drive on the moon. Ooh, that's fun. Yeah, let me just drive real slowly, going in zero gravity. Whoa, yeah, I'm going fast now. One flip it over, and I'm fine. But you know, it's just I can't. I can't with Gran Turismo 6. I've yet to ever touch this game again, and when I do, it's just do I want to do a race? No, I'm done. Okay, I just can't. I can't bring myself to play it. And I'm sure it's good. I'm sure there's probably some following for it. People do like it, but I just can't. I just can't see it. Thankfully, we're almost at the end of this too, and thankfully these last two games, you know, I don't have much to say about. But anyway, that's Gran Turismo 6. I have nothing really to say about it. I've not really played it a lot, so I can't give a full synopsis over it. But yeah, it's just too boring for me. And now we move on to my final Gran Turismo game. Holy crap. And the first one on the PlayStation 4, Gran Turismo Sport. And this one here, much like Gran Turismo 6, I have not really touched a lot. I touched it when I first got it because I wanted to see what it was about, and then I turned it off. See, the issue is I have no problem with them going for a racing simulator aspect. My problem comes when they freaking ruin what was already a fun series with boring, bland menus, boring, bland strategies like, oh, the cars, realistic handling, they can barely turn. I have to crank my control stick a full 360 degrees to get it to turn left or whatever. And it's just not fun to me, man. It's just not fun. So Gran Turismo Sport falls under the same category where I just have really nothing to talk about. It's more so the prologue to Gran Turismo 7 because a lot of what Gran Turismo 7, at least from what I've heard, a lot of what Gran Turismo 7 has is derived from Sport. So this is pretty much the prologue to Gran Turismo 7, which I called. I said to myself, "There's no way this is the seventh official game. We gotta have a Gran Turismo 7." Sure enough, PlayStation 5 was announced one day, and Gran Turismo 7 was also announced. Is it coincidence? Cosmic luck? Who knows? But I have nothing really to say about Gran Turismo Sport. It's boring like Gran Turismo 6. I've yet to really complete it. And yeah. Anyway, that's all the games I own. I don't own 7, unfortunately, but that's that's them. That's my Gran Turismo collection. Uh I guess I could also talk about Tourist Trophy now. I mentioned that earlier in this video, and I guess I should get to it. Otherwise, I seem like a very bad video person. Tourist Trophy is basically Gran Turismo 4, but with motorcycles. Seriously, it's literally the second half to Gran Turismo 4 as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, where they share different titles, but they're actually the same game. Well, one half of the same game. You know, Sonic 3 is the first half, Sonic and Knuckles is the second half. You lock them together and you get the full Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That's the way Tourist Trophy and Gran Turismo 4 works. You know, because they reuse a lot of tracks from Gran Turismo 4. The menus are the same. The sound effects are the same. The graphics are the same. It even says on the box art from the makers of Gran Turismo. So, do I need to go any further on that? And Gran Turismo PSP, like I said, it's basically Gran Turismo, but only arcade mode essentially. Uh, but yeah, that's all the Gran Turismo games. Oh, also, I guess while we're on the subject of Gran Turismo, I have to make an announcement right here and right now. Um, this one is kind of a more somber announcement because, well, you all know how I've been doing the Gran Turismo 3 Let's Play on this channel for quite some time. And it's been a distinct lack in uploads on that particular project. Um, well, unfortunately, the reason for this is that the capture card I've been using has been giving me a lot of issues recently, in the sense that when I try to record, the end product comes out all choppy and just not good to watch. It's like, what's going on here? And because of these reasons, also with work and all that, I have decided to make the decision to cancel the Let's Play. I know, I know. I was really hoping I'd keep it going too, but I'm sorry, guys. It's just becoming a more and more of a hassle, and I don't really see any other option than to do this. So, if you're really looking forward to me doing that game, I'm sorry, but for now I have to cancel it. Maybe someday in the future, if I get better equipment, I'll redo the Let's Play because I kind of feel like I have to because I don't like the way I did the beginning parts at all. But as for now, that Let's Play is officially canceled, and yeah, it's tough. I mean, this was something I've wanted to do my whole life, and I finally get to do it, and just problems came up as usual, and we have to come to this conclusion. It's just I know somewhere out there somebody was looking forward to the next Gran Turismo 3 part for me, but I have to cancel it, so I'm sorry, and that's the way it's got to be, but you live and you learn. You live and you learn. Oh, God, excuse me. Okay, well, that's about all I got for this video. I'm back. Now, does this mean I'm gonna regularly upload YouTube videos? No. In fact, don't look for another upload for quite some time. So because again, I got work, and that takes up my entire day. Literally, 9-hour shifts, 8 to 5. I am tired when I get home. This is luck of the draw, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah. So that's that, and yeah, it sucks about Gran Turismo 3. I was really liking that, really starting to get into a groove with it, and things just happen. But yep, that's that. That's my little rant. And whenever I decide to get back in this chair in front of this camera and make a video, well, you'll see because I upload it. So thank you for watching this, and yeah. And until then, I haven't done this in a while. Goodbye.